What's up, guys? Just kind of going through the watch list here. Hope y'all are doing all right this morning. It's going to be interesting today, guys. It's going to be really interesting today. As you can see, I caught an early morning pre-market trade on TVIX. I kind of caught this move here as it was going up, and again, it always goes back to the SPY. I was watching the SPY, and I'll just pull in the chart from yesterday. So these are still the same levels that I marked yesterday, and as we can see, this morning it kind of broke through this level, hovered around it, came down, touched back close to it, but then started coming down and started breaking through. That's when I got long on the TVIX. And now it's had a pullback, and as it pulled back near this line right here, I went ahead and took a small position on the TVIX. I'm going to add back in, looking for a failure and a further move down to test these levels down here. I think we can get it. I don't know for sure, but I will eventually pull out. I think if it breaks over the 20 EMA and maintains and works its way back up to 280. I think I don't know that I'll sit through that, but it's kind of one of those things where, here we broke, we tested, we broke, we tested, continue to move down. I think we might get one of those here. I think at the very least we could retest these levels. I mean, we should test back under this line, but I don't know for sure. You never know for sure, but I've got a stop in mind. And once it reaches that point, I'll get out. Otherwise, I will look to take hopefully another, I don't know, $30, $40, $50 of profit on this trade. So we'll see. Morning, Flip. Just getting things loaded. Yeah. It's cool. Good to see you here. So I'm gonna show you. There's a few charts that I'm looking at today. TZOO Travel Zoo is one of them. First of all, we're hitting on some key levels. We know the travel industry is suffering. But Travel Zoo actually had some pretty good news because they pulled out of. There was something with they exited a loss-making Asia Pacific business, and they're focusing on highly profitable businesses in North America and Europe, and so that gave them a little bit of a boost. But if the market is not doing well today, and if more stuff continues to break on coronavirus and all that, I mean, the travel industry as a whole, just in general, is going to continue to take a hit. So this is easy to short. And I think it's possible. I think it's possible to, that we might be just kind of working off of a trend line here, and that we will see a little downside action today. I don't know how much. I don't know if we could come all the way down and break these levels and make a plunge downwards. I don't think that it would be the case, but there's only 5 million shares available to, so it's a small float. We can make that move, I think, but right now it has a current target price set at around $10. So I am going to be careful with it. Let's see. I'm going to put it down here below AMD. Another one I want to look at is CCL. And let me look and see if there's any news on this. So CCL. Now this is a 400 million share float. Some Carnival Corporation. This is, I'm sure you guys have heard of like Carnival Cruises, and we all know that the cruise ship industry has kind of taken a hit. So After Fed's massive emergency monetary stimulus. Okay, I may have to get out of this one. Let me see if there will be a final retest. Okay, it's moving up pretty quick, but it's butting up against resistance, and the TVIX really isn't falling with the same kind of momentum. So I still think I've got SPY up in a separate window, so I still think that could be, let's see, 278. So 279 is where I want to be alerted again. SPY 279, ask, add. Okay. See if it can maintain above that 20 moving average. So back to CCL. After Fed's massive emergency monetary stimulus, President Trump came up with a fiscal stimulus package. Trump is now mulling over a very substantial relief to the payroll tax. Okay, the likely tax incentive, So Trump also mentioned that the White House will cooperate with the struggling airline and cruise industries. In response, cruise shares Carnival Corporation and Royal Caribbean Cruises gained materially on March 9th. Yeah, but that was the 9th. So let's see. AYTU continues to have good news on it. So it's not making the boldest claim for anything one way or the other on CCL. But this is kind of one of those things where, I mean, we are nearing some lows. I mean, we could definitely test and have a break of 20 today, although it doesn't seem to move much. And there's probably investors, people who are watching, people who are, being careful with this stuff. And I know how TVIX looks right now, but I'm going on a guidance here with the S&P 500, so, which looks like it's about to break through 279. So right now I'm just trying to decide if I want to add to my position. We are butting up against some resistance, but it did close above the 20. So I still think that there would be a retest. I can't see this. But then again, I mean, SPY in these waters, and especially this is pre-market here, so SPY can behave irrationally. So I don't want to. Let me look at SPY on the 15-minute. This looks like it could be a pretty bullish move. The thing is now it's at that time where we're getting close to the opening bell. I don't know which way the SPY is going to end up moving when that bell hits, honestly. Otherwise, I would genuinely see this as a good place to add. But let me just watch this price action for a minute here. This pre-market price action. Let's see. How far up are we going? Okay. Buy volume's kicking in. It did lose a lot of its value in pre-market. I have to think about that. bulls are still, if people are bullish on this, and if the market does not continue to take a strong hit today, then that, that S&P 500 is definitely going to skyrocket. I don't know about skyrocket, but it'll have a very healthy pullback today in favor of the bulls. So again, I'm just here, I'll show you. I'm watching it here. And again, these 280 levels, I don't want it to break through that. It's butting up against this resistance, and then there's resistance here, and then there's the break of 280, which in which I would want to get out. But I'll tell you what. And yes, obviously I'm thinking, man, I don't want to lose the profit I made on this, but it's pre-market trading. I mean, it's fine. I can start the market. I start in the market with a clean slate, but I don't think, let me just see. I think I'm going to be willing to add. Because SPY does this. I've seen it do this a lot, where it looks like it's pulling back heavily, but it meets either some previous areas of resistance or just, whatever the case may be. Oops. Come on. See if we can get that fill there. There we go. So we got 30 at a 257.99 average. So if SPY rejects and we can pull back significantly, that'll be good on those 30 shares. But I don't know. We'll see. Just continuing to get bought. Might go up to that line. I mean, remember, guys, we're basically break even on the day. I mean, if I have to take $100 loss, whatever. But I'm thinking this is going to suffer a pullback here. I think TVIX will have an opportunity to recover, but we'll see. If it breaks trend line, I'll definitely get out, and I'll probably be down 100 on the day if that happens. But I am looking for it to turn around. I hate that it's so close to the opening bell, because I mean, it's very possible that SPY just gets bought straight up through the roof when that opens up. It's also possible that it tanks and it comes down, breaks back through this line, and then tests this low. So I'll just have to set a stop. Guys, for the opening bell. It's definitely cracking up through 280 on the SPY. And they could just be shorts covering. So I am considering bringing my average back down one more time. So, all right, we'll let that play out for a second. Let me see who's in the room here. Okay, what's up, Notergen? Hope you're doing all right. Good to see you. So, as it stands right now, I'm probably down about $60 on the day, roughly. I am looking again for a trend line rejection here on the SPY. Would love to see a fail here and a test right back down to these levels. I think that would be enough to get us back to black on the trade. So I am watching the SPY. I was also looking at, and you know what? Let me go ahead. 30 shares, 257 average. I would have to take this at the break of 250. I really don't want to do that, but 249.99 stop sell. So that's where we'll get out, guys, if we have to. If it breaks that trend line on the S&P 500 and if it continues to make a move down. Now obviously my stop order won't trigger in pre-market. But anyway, today I am watching SPEX for a possible recovery of this 200-day moving average and a move up. I'm also actually watching VIR. As you can see, the levels I marked out yesterday, it's working its way back up. And I'm going to want to know if it hits $36. So I'm actually going to go ahead and set an alert, VIR for $36 on the ask. So looks like SPY is trying to recover, so I may end up getting out on the TVIX here. May end up taking my order on the TVIX. SPY's making a good move, but I don't know, guys. I don't know. Looks like it's rejecting. Looks like it's rejecting. I may hold on to TVIX a little bit. SPY may continue to make a move down. But again, I've got my stop there at basically 250. So SPY wants to take off and TVIX wants to get me out, then I'll get out. This is another one I'm looking at today. This one has had some pretty good news. I think I want to possibly get in on this. So I'll go ahead and take 400 shares. It's $2 stock. And we'll see if it can continue moving up. Only going to risk about 20 cents on this, guys. SPY looks like it might continue pushing. It's ramping up through that trend line. Okay. And I'm out, down 146 on the day. Going to continue watching to see if SPY can push. I'd really like to see AYTU, and it's got some pretty good news on it right now. I'd really like to see it though push above $3. So I'll probably hold on to the 400 shares up to that point. I may unload a little if it comes back against me. I think if it breaks 20, it would be worth unloading some of those shares. But so what I'll do is I'll actually do 221 stop sell at 221. SPY's continuing to push. Let's look back at CCL. Let's see what that's doing. Oh, and let's look at SFIX too. Not a lot of volume on it. Specs. Not a lot going on there. VIR. Looks like it might have tried to come up here and got rejected. I might be willing to go ahead and get in 50 shares. And then just take it if it breaks above 34.53. So locate, accept, close. Let's see if I can get in there. This might be a nice little move to the downside. So, okay. So AYTU is failing. 34.50. So I'll actually look to add up to 36. I won't even take it there, guys. Let's see. I guess 35.50. Well, let me see. No, I think I should take it at 34.60. Stop. Otherwise, we'll see if we can get a rundown. So AYTU got me out on those first shares. Ooh, SPY is seeing a healthy rejection off of this line right here, by the way. So that's good. I like that. By the way, on VIR, if this works out on this 50 shares, I'm looking for it to break down through all these levels, 27, and finally come crushing down to, you know, the 23 areas if it can. AYTU, I think here's the problem with AYTU. If I'm not mistaken, it's got a larger, it's a little bit larger float, so it's going to be a little harder to push up, to really ramp up. Doesn't mean that it can't be. We've already had all those shares rotated through one time today, so that's kind of something that we need to look at. So but I'll tell you what, if it continues to come down, I don't see any reason in staying in it. So it would be basically at the break of 212. I should probably get out. The other 200 shares. So we'll give it to the break of 210. Stop. Sell. So I've got my stop in. It's coming down, guys. It's coming down. So we may lose out on this one. SFIX, let's look at this again. TZOO, let's look at this one. Not enough volume being traded. I'm getting rid of that. INO on a halt. I can see INO coming up to test these areas here. Could be testing here. If it breaks up through here, I could see a test at 851. Locate. Shares are pretty easy to borrow. So I'll go ahead and take 400 shares there. And we'll keep an eye on this. So VIR kind of popping back a little bit. Might actually be a good place to add. I think we took 100 shares, popped up through VWAP. But yeah, if this comes up over, really if it comes up over 34 now, I'll probably want to get out. So I'm going to move my stop down to 34.01. So where are we at here? So stop buy at 34.01. This makes a recovery up there. We really need to see a continuation to the downside. Really need to see a break of 30 today, and then a break of 27.41. So if we don't get that, I'm just going to want to get out. I mean, now, yeah, it could come up to this critical level here and end up rejecting, of course. Let me see. So we would look, I would almost even look at to maybe start going short. I could start averaging in maybe around 850, but it is on a tear right now. It's on a, it's been halted. So, it's definitely something that we want to watch, take into consideration. Let's see here. Let's see why. Okay, this isn't. Okay, specs is really kind of below the 200 days, so I'm not interested in that anymore. Wow, what a recovery on TVIX. What a recovery. SPY had a perfect bounce off that line. I probably, honestly, should have given it to that line, but I don't know. I should have, could have, would have, right? I think respecting the trend line was probably the smart move, because this could have just blasted up through there. So I was not willing to take that much of a loss on it. Okay, we're out completely AYTU. So the long did not work today, which is okay. It may still continue to go up. I mean, we're still kind of uptrending here. So I don't know. going to stay committed to it a little bit longer. AYTU, or INO, excuse me. Let's let it get on a little bit of a tear. Yeah, 850 is where I'll probably start adding, unless it's showing major signs of weakness. Okay, and it's obviously failing. It's coming down, but getting pushed up now. So let's see here. So 750 and 734 are two other pretty critical areas. Let me see on the 5 minute. 820 all the way up to 860. 731, 750, 760. Those are all hard to break through. So I'm just going to kind of watch this for a minute, see what kind of pullback we can get. And guys, give me a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, guys. So if it struggles around these areas, I might actually be willing to get in. Going to let it retest just because these are areas of critical support or resistance. Sorry. I'll give it a chance to pull back and see if it can break these highs. If it can't, I'll get in. I'm going to let the trade come to me, though. I'm not going to be in too big of a hurry here, guys. Watching for the hourly trend on the SPY, by the way. What a solid move to the downside. So now my question is are we going to be able to finally break through that 15 area and do some damage on SFIX? I would probably start averaging in. Again, we do have a high short float interest. So we're going to see if we can break through 15 and do some damage. Finally get to those levels down to 13 like we were looking at yesterday. I may consider adding at the break of 1450. Of course, we may, I mean, here on the daily chart, let's see, 1428 is pretty critical. And we've got a ways to drop. But we want to see some pretty quick resolution to the downside. 1450 is a pretty big level. So if we see resistance, I may go ahead and take a little bit of profit off the table. It's only 200 shares, so yesterday SFIX chopped us around a lot. So we have to almost expect it to do a similar thing today. I think parts of it will definitely be dependent on what the SPY does. I think if the SPY can continue to make moves to the downside, and as long as it maintains a downtrend on the hourly, I think SFIX and others could fail. But we're meeting a little resistance here. So or not resistance, but just failure to break to the downside. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and come out 100 shares. Give it time for a pullback to add to. Either that, or if we can get a significant break through 1480, I will go short again. INO definitely lost those levels. Lost these levels right here. If you can see right here, 798, it actually comes over to these levels further over here. This was kind of that area where you see there's this resistance there. So now it's a whippy stock, but I may be willing to jump in with 200 of those shares here. Let me see if it can retest VWAP. Go ahead and get in with 200. There we go. And we'll see if we can break down through these levels and come back down here and test 635. SFIX is sitting at 1480. So I'm going to go ahead and get another 200 shares. I got a 1491 average. So if it comes over 1503, I will want to get out. $15.03, stop. Well, we'll say 15. Stop. Buy. Okay. SFIX is resolving nicely, or INO. And I'm also going to put a stop sell on 1452. Stop sell for another 200 shares, just in case I missed that. Let's look at INO. See if we can get a continued breakdown on that. If INO comes above 714, I'll want to get out. Otherwise, I'm going to try to hold on to those 200 shares for a pretty solid move to the downside. I'll even consider getting in another 200 shares in anticipation of the break of 1680. But yeah, if we come above 714, yeah, 715, stop, buy. I want to get out. Really want to see a break. 1680s. Trying to be patient. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and if we get another test down here, I'm definitely going in. I would say 1685 stop, sell. Another 200 there. SFIX just pulling me around here. Okay. Out on INO, chopped out there. How do I have 100 left? That's odd. 707 with 100. Okay. Pushing up through VWAP. Somehow I still have 100 shares in there. I thought I had, maybe it just didn't take everything. Let's see. Buy volume's picking up, but this could just be a short squeeze. Yeah. Yeah. Bears pushed it down pretty big. See if we can break those levels. It's a little whippy, guys, so I'm going to treat this one a little differently. But so far it's had a VWAP recovery on the 5 minutes, so struggling though. I'm going to take another 100 shares there. We got a 200 shares at a 717 average. If it breaks 734, I'll want to get out and just reset the trade till whenever. Let's see. Hold on. 731. Wait, let me double check with that. Yeah, 734 I think would be a good place to get out. Really, I'll take it at the break of 731. And I will not add the last 200 shares until we get an actual break of 686. So it'll be one of those things where if this can work itself out and make a solid move to the downside, then I will consider coming back in at, we'll even say 686, stop sell 200 shares there. So, but let's see how this works out. SFIX, not too much volume on here. So, guys, I don't know if we're going to finally get the breakdown. If we do, we have pretty far to roll. Where is it? 1505. I'm going to be patient with this one. Give it some time to play out. AYTU is recovering. Where's AMD? AMD is making a move. INO. How does it only take? I'm pretty sure. Well, okay, I'm a little perplexed, but seems to only get 100 of my shares at a time. So I have a 728 average, down 200 on the day. We can see a comeback. We've come back from a lot worse than this. VIR came back above VWAP. We want to see a rejection. Came all the way up to 34 basically. And of course, as you know, if it breaks 34, I'm getting out. So it may take me out here. May take me out. We'll see. I know. What's the story? This is kind of on an uptrend here. But sell volume or buy volume's wearing off. I want to catch it. I really want to catch this on the rollover, because if it rolls over, this will be the day maker here. This will be the trade of the day. But see what it's looking like. We're still kind of uptrending, so TVIX. I think a lot of these tickers is kind of going to be, dependent on the SPY, what the SPY does. All right, this looks a lot more sure from this point. I mean, we know it's whippy, guys. We know SFIX is whippy, but it does look a lot more sure. Okay. So I'm going to go another, so we got 300 shares short on SFIX. Let's see if we can finally get that move. Of course, SPY is now moving up. This may be more suited for a long position. Yeah, SPY's coming back up, so that may help with SFIX. If we break back down through 33, I will want to take the other 50 shares. Stop. Stop sell. Actually, you know what? I may be willing to just go ahead and limit in on 25 there. So we got 75 at 33. So 34.01, 75, stop buy. So let's see if we can get a good move down on these 75 shares. Okay, INO. Is INO finally failing, or is this just creating another uptrend? It's kind of the next question. And by the way, guys, if you've been commenting in the chat, I have not been able to look at the chat quite yet, but I'll be getting on that in a minute. Well, maybe a few minutes, we'll say. I'm gonna give some of this stuff some time. SFIX needs to get the breakdown of 85 and then 75. And if it doesn't, then I need to come out and just suffer another loss, and that's fine. Just not catching, right now, not catching a move, guys. Might be a day where I have to take a loss, and I mean, that's fine. It's, it is what it is. Sometimes it's just like this. So and if SFIX comes back up, I'll probably stop messing with it today. I'm not gonna see a need to go on any further. VIR also, I'm going to try to see if I can load up on the rest of the 100 shares. I'm going to get in 200 short, 718 average on INO, and look for a dump below 7 and finally below 686, where I'll add my final 200 shares. Still kind of going on with the same plan there. But we do need to see some resolution to the downside. I really want to see a dump here. I may add another 100 at the break of 7, and then another 100 at the break of 85, 685. $15-minute would be 730, so probably come out the full shares there at 731. Stop buy. SFIX, I'm out, and I'm probably not going to mess with that anymore. It's tracking with the SPY right now. And just very very thinly traded. It's just not worth taking another move on it. So, well, I'll leave it in there just for the recap. VIR. Okay. So what I may consider doing is taking the final 25 shares, if we can get them at 33.30. And if we can, then I'll make my stop 100 shares at the break of 34. Looks like it's respecting a trend line here. I want to see a continued respect of that. If it pops up and passes up these levels here, though, I'm going to want to get out. Okay, VIR, I've got the full, okay, it picked me up there. So 3401 is the exit on 100 shares. Stop buy at 3401. So if this fails and we get another fail on INO, I mean, I don't know how much more blood in the streets I want to see on my P&L today. So may just have to sit on my hands for the rest of the day, guys. Could just be one of those days where just, I mean, you know, nothing's working. You know, and you have days like that. You have days like that where literally nothing is working. And the market just reminds you over and over again how bad your trading skills are. So out on INO, we're down 286 on the day. My max daily loss is typically 500. I'm okay to lose up to 500. I don't want to, but that's why I said, I mean, if nothing else is going to work, then I mean, it's not going to be worth it to stay in and find out otherwise. So there's a slight breakout here. Thing is, INO still might be a good opportunity, just because, you know, we are hitting. I'll zoom out again so you guys can see. Really, I'll do this on the 15-minute. Right here, if you look over here at all of this, it's kind of where we're meeting. So now if we can break up through it, I think the next point would be the 1850 to 1860 areas. But it seems like every time SPY pushes, these stocks push. So I don't know if this is the best one to try to get in on. VIR, it really would be good to see a final breakdown, at least a retest of these levels, and I think that would put us back up on the day, and I'd probably get out with whatever win I could get on that. Yeah, I'll definitely want to get out at the break of 33.98. Let's go TVIX. TVIX is suffering. I know, still just kind of teetering around that 750 area, guys. I mean, so, but again, you know, I'm watching the SPY. I don't know if it's following the SPY. So Hopefully we get the break on this. We've got to crack through 32.82 and then make our way down to 30. It's struggling here. I mean, it might be worth going in 200 shares again, but $59. Let's see. See if we can get a pullback. Thing is if SPY rejects here, a lot of these I think are going to reject. Really would like to see a pullback first, but I don't know if we're going to get that. There we go. There's a pullback. And it was a very weak pullback, so I've got short, I'm short there, but obviously if it breaks over 60 or if it starts hitting on 60, I got to get out. So okay, all right, I'm gonna get out. It's pressing up. Can it hold? Had a hard time holding. Whippy action, SPY's failing. Okay, it's broken up through levels now that I'm uncomfortable with going short on, so just gonna hold here. You guys might actually be a good move. It looks like it's rolling over. I'll wait for a pullback. Maybe jump in, we'll say 200 shares at 48.20. How far could we come up here? 48.40. Missed that move. What a move. What a move. I hate I missed that move. That was a great, great move on you guys. Great move. Is this going to continue? VIR looks like it's about to get me out. Man. Tapped the order. See what this does. See if this double tops. I know it's having a rough time. This could be the trend line here. SPY's failing. Out on VIR, down 400, guys. May take one more shot. All right. See if we can start losing these levels. May just, guys, this may actually need to be a scalping day where I don't really focus on letting trades work out in any certain direction. I may just need to get out. In and out, get in and out of trades, just scalp. SPY's coming down. Putting another 200 there. If we can finally get the breakdown here. I want to see it close below that. That 9 EMA on the 5-minute. VIR is at 36. So I'm glad I got out at 34. Would have been a huge loser otherwise. Man, it did not close below that 9 EMA. But the SPY's continue to pull, so I don't know if that has any significance with INO. SPY's pushing. VIR is at 36.44. Could not get the breakdown today. Apologies for the boring show here today, guys. Just not getting great setups. Just not getting great setups right now. This might be a good time to go long on TVIX. Got the SPY in another window here. Go ahead and hop in with 25 shares there. Just in case we can see SPY come back down, crack through these areas, and start testing yesterday's lows. Be interesting to see that, but I will be cautious as it approaches this line right here. Okay, TVIX making a good solid recovery there. See if we can take 10 off at 255.23. So See if we can get that. Be excellent to see that. Or 254.23. Go ahead and take it off there. 254.23. I think we can get a push up to there real quick. SPY's pulling hard enough. There we go. $251.15. What in the world? Okay, so we've got 30 shares at 251.01. May want to unload another. See if we can get a push through that level and a break of the pre-market lows. Reduce our loss on the day. I mean, I'll take a little more profit as the SPY reaches down to that line. I want to see it tap on that line. I know you guys can't see what I'm looking at here, but I'm kind of in an intense moment and just kind of want to maintain right here on this buy button. 10 shares. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and unload those 10 shares. So we got 250.91 average. I'll go ahead and bring this down so you can see it. It's tapping on the line. It's kissing it right now. So we may get a pullback here. And if the pullback is significant enough, like if we get a pullback to the EMA, but it looks like it's going to start rejecting, I'll add. If it looks like we're going to get a breakthrough up to VWAP and just start coming back up, then I'll go ahead and get out. So VIR making a really strong recovery. INO, I'm just going to be ready for this if we look like we're going to break trend here. So trend break would be I don't want to hold it for a $60 loss. But I mean, it looks strong, but it still looks like it can fail. So I guess I'll let it go. I mean, it's only 200 shares. You know, the only problem is I'm down on the day, so I don't feel like my risk tolerance is quite the same as it was as when I was less down on the day, we should say. 775 would be the critical area to try to get out. Thing is if we see a rejection here and it comes down, that'll be a solid move. That'll be enough to dig me a little, well, a lot further out of the hole, actually. Right now it's about preserving capital. And definitely want to start seeing a breakdown of VWAP. All right, I feel like I'm getting to the place where I can go ahead and Bring this up. So what do we got? So Flip says Tesla, lots of action on this, but the ticker is so close to Tesla. Weird one. I know that's not. I know you divorced her. Yeah, man. Ugh, I know. I know. I did divorce her, but I just can't stay away. I can't stay away. I know. She's got my heart. What can I say? So Flip says Spy just been going sideways. Total chop this morning. You're right. Codex is on a tear. Okay, I'll look at that here in a minute. I know Codex, last time I checked, was not able to be shorted. So Flip says, tough morning. You just reduce size for a bit till this market gets more favorable. I'll tell you what, Flip. Yeah, I don't know how much more size I could reduce. Actually, I mean, you know me, man. I'm barely trading with. I mean, look, I got 20 shares on TVIX, 200 shares on INO. I mean, I guess I could go 10 on TVIX and 100 on INO, but at the same time, I'm almost 200 down from my max daily loss, so it's worth trying to size up a little and see if we can get some good moves on these stocks. It's worth it at this point, but here in a little bit, it's not going to be worth it anymore. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Okay, looks like we're getting a rejection, so I may add 10 shares to my position. So we got 30 at 250.86. INO, if we get the break out of this trend, then obviously I'm going to get out. I may go ahead and reduce, or I may just look to add. SPY's getting a good rejection off that EMA, so there's a big chance it may break down. You know what? Okay, I'm coming off half my shares there on INO. Is this going to be a trend line rejection? I'll go short again, 53 average. If it looks like it's going to come back over that trend line, I will get back out. Right now we could be facing a false breakout of that trend line, but I'll keep my eye on it. 70. If it starts eating through 70, I'll just get out. Okay. All right, guys. This is just not my day. So 413 on the day. Although SPY now, we got 30 shares on TVIX. SPY looks like so it rejected that 9 EMA. That's why I added. And if it could break this line and test this bottom, I think we'll get a fairly good move on TVIX. So actually, I'll just keep this in the window here. We may want to focus on this for a minute. Let's see a breakdown there. If it rejects, I may come off a little, may come off some of my shares. I really want to see it break down through that. All right, it's rejecting. Let me see here. Okay, and that technically made a higher low. So let's see. We'll give it one more retest here. What's up, strangers? Hope you're doing all right, man. Rise and shine indeed. Yeah, Flip. SPY's in a chop, man. It really is. It's making a lot choppy, but I feel like as long as we can maintain a lower hour um, lower hourly position, technically this, let's see, 177. I thought one was lower than the other. Were they at the same spot? Oh, looks like they were the same spot. It'd be interesting to me to see if we can break that hourly low. Trying to slow down the charts a little. Getting another significant pullback. I'll tell you what though, if it comes crashing through this, I think we're definitely going to get a test of that hourly low from pre-market. Okay, you guys might be setting up for another one. Come on, let's break this low. Crack through the line, break the lows, and crack through the line. It's tightening, guys. It's tightening up. It's made a 30-minute, new 30-minute low. So this could be it. We're either gonna bounce off this line or we're gonna break through it. Okay. We need to break that 5-minute low. I'm going to put this up here for a minute while I check out a couple other things. So VIR. Okay, we shot right through that. You can see how far that went up. Touched right here, broke through that slightly. Okay. You guys making a strong recovery. Not sure how much that's going to recover, but also want to check out WWE. Saw something about that in the news or on a report this morning. Okay, it cannot be shorted. Anytime you see that T symbol, that basically means it's not shortable. So okay, we really need to see, I'm going to just stick with TVIX right now. We really need to see SPY break down through these levels and that low. That'll give us a good solid recovery on some of the losses today. There we go. Let's kiss that line. Can we get a solid breakthrough? Let's get a solid breakthrough on that line. Forming lows. I'm gonna give it a second, guys. I really want to give it some time. This is the 15-minute. It's got to break through 278.11. 30-minute, it has made a low, but it's kissing on that line. So this is one of those days where, man, if I had just scalped all my trades, I would have been good. I would have been good. I could have scalped everything. And not all of my trades. I take that back. I mean, I obviously was down on a few of them. Even a few of them went against me. I mean, but VIR, VIR was up almost $100 on that at one point. INO, I was up, decent little amount on that. I don't know if it was 30, 40, $50 at one point. So even TVIX, even the trade that I ended up losing out on, I could have, at one point I was up on it. I could have scalped it or reduced my size and let it run against me a little bit more with smaller size. I could have managed my trades a lot better today. Well, I guess I shouldn't say a lot better, because my strategy really does call for letting the winners run. It calls for a solid discipline of really just sitting on your hands and letting these trades work out. And so, I sit here and say that, man, I should have, whatever, woulda, shoulda, coulda. But at the same time, then if all of them had gone in my direction, and if they had all seen really good, solid resolution to the downside, then I'd be sitting here kicking myself for not letting them run. I mean, now I'm sitting on, I could have been, if I scalped them all, if I took profits quickly, I'd be sitting on a maybe $150, $200 day right now. But then it's like, again, if they ran in the right direction for, like they do often, then I'd be sitting here kicking myself saying, man, I could be up $500-$600 today if I just stuck to my rules. So, I mean, it's just one of those days. It's choppy. So it is what it is. Man, I should have taken profit. It's bouncing off of that line. So that's pretty significant, guys. It's getting bought right back up off that line. I tell you guys all the time, I mean, these lines, they're no joke. They're no joke. Just what a heavy buy up. So should have taken some profit when I had the chance. So 250.86. Let me see if I can get out these 30 shares. Let me see if I can get a pullback and sell them here. Get out, break even. Man, look at that buy volume coming in. Hope I didn't miss something. Is there some kind of announcement? Okay. All right, so break even took me out. So, guys, I hate that it's been a boring day. Obviously, this is a day where I'm going to have to take a loss. Losses are never easy, but it's part of it. Please don't come all the way back down. You got to keep going now, man. You've got to keep going now. You can't, don't come back. Don't come back. There's no need for that junk. Oh. Well. Man, what a chop fest. What a chop fest, guys. I tried, man. I tried to let my winners run. Even there, you saw there was a time I was up 60, 70, $80. I could have taken it, but you can't. This is irrational. This right here is irrational. You can't predict this stuff. And you can't base your strategy off of, well, what might happen. And that's kind of a good lesson for the day. Yeah, I saw it actually, as a matter of fact. Or wait a second. Sorry. I saw INO tapping these marks, and this was another mark that I had called out earlier. I don't know if you guys remember. I said if it breaks through the 750 levels, it could come up here and start testing anywhere between 850 and 860. And when I saw it getting up there, and I just didn't do anything about it, just primarily because I've lost out on the trade already so many times. I shouldn't have tried to get it in this move here. I felt like we really could see resistance in this area, this general area, which we did. You can see, I mean, we obviously butted up against it multiple times. So I thought maybe it could roll over, but it really was not showing signs of rolling over. But anyway, back to the lesson for the day. So the lesson, goodness gracious, guys, look at this. I mean, it might be worthy to get in on the TVIX again. See if we can get a significant run. See if we can finally get a run. Or is it just going to be a bunch of chop? Okay, we closed below it on the 5, so that's significant. Now we need to test these bottoms here. Or test this previous bottom from pre-market. It'd be great to smash through the pre-market lows and kind of head down this way towards 273. This means that, well, no, we have not formed an hourly low. Sitting on the 30, sitting on the 15. Come on. I'll tell you what, if the TVIX could make it up into the 260s, we could get a $300 move off of this, or better. If I can find a good spots to add to my position along the way. But SPY is stubborn. Really is. I mean, it keeps recovering that line, so great recovery of that line. Every time it recovers this line too, it kind of forces me to rethink the trade. But let's see a break. Come on. Break this. Let's break this. Let's break it. Come on, there we go. Let's break it. There we go. Ah, man. Whippy action. We're really fighting it. We are really fighting it right now. But I'll tell you what, if we get that crack down below there, And guys, this is difficult. Very difficult. Very difficult. Lots of wicks. Lots of back and forth. Come on. We need a test of 277. It's holding though. It's holding. So this could be a false breakthrough on that trend line. We gotta be careful of that. We want to see continued downward pressure, minute by minute. That's why I've got the 2-minute chart up here. Let's look at the minute chart. There we go. Okay, made another low on the 1 minute. 30 seconds in. So wow. Got 10 seconds left in this. This will be two considerable gravestone dojis basically on the 5 minute. All right, I'm gonna get out, take a little profit there. I don't know why I did that. Let me give it time to pull back down to 251 again. I'm going to start averaging in with 15 shares at a time. But I'm going to be cautious just in case this is kind of like the pullback here. 252.90. Failed pullback. So go ahead and get in there, and then if it pulls back to 251.18, I'll take another 15. Just scalping right now, guys. Just scalping. Looking for opportunities to get 30 bucks here, 40 bucks there, 50 bucks. Dig my way out a little bit. Have no idea when this is going to turn around. The SPY is just it's very unpredictable right now. So oh wow. What a drop. What a drop. What a drop on you guys. That should see. All right, guys, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, this is breaking up through the line, so I may want to get out here and SPY's breaking up pretty significantly on the 5-minute. It could just be another buy fail. Could be people taking profit, short sellers taking profit. Just in case, I'm putting my order out to come out at 254.18. If it can bring me out break even, it'd be great. It's not going to bring me out. Would love to see a 9 EMA rejection on the 5. Come on. Get me out. Get me out. Okay. There we go. Okay. Taking a little bit of a loss on those 15 shares. Last thing I want to see is this come all the way back up here and just get stuck underwater that much. Man, guys, you guys is just getting just utterly destroyed. I did consider getting in up here on these levels and it dropped pretty significantly. Missed out on that. I think I was looking at actually the crack of 48, so got a almost $1 move on that. But then I saw it coming up here, and I didn't know if this was just gonna be continued strength. But if I hadn't been down on the day, I probably would have went for it. So, just a rough day, guys. I mean, there's really nothing more that can be said about it. It's, you know, like I said, it's a rough day. These things happen. Can't make money every day, I guess. It's just not realistic in the life of a day trader. But you can. And look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Man, I think it got me out almost there at the top. I think it got me out almost there at the top. Yeah, right there. Right there. Right as it rolled over and came down and just man. I'll tell you what, some days really, I mean, some days you just can't win. This is a critical level though, 1430. Where was it? Was it here yesterday's? Yeah, 1428, that's right. I had that level marked out yesterday, 1428. I mean, I suppose I could wait for some kind of pullback. Let's see. Let's see what that would look like. Up to 457. That would butt up right against the 9 EMA as well. That could be a pretty strong area of rejection. May be willing to take a stab at it there. We're a little over 100 away from my max loss, so oh man. Guys, this is the game. This is the game that's played. This is the psychological game of trading. I clearly had called both of these points. Well, but this was the one that I took my chances on. And I got chopped out several times. It's the biggest loser of the day. You have to remember, I've got history with INO. I've got history of getting crushed by INO. So even when it made this move here, and even though this was the other level that I talked about earlier, about being a possible area of rejection, I wasn't feeling it. I didn't want to take my chances. So these are at this point, these are psychological patterns that we're dealing with more than anything else. So admittedly, just kind of trading with a little bit of emotion on this stuff. I don't want to chase it. But I'm going to go ahead and jump back in because SPY looks like it's failing that level on the 5 minute. Looks like it's going to continue moving lower. So I'm going to give that a chance to work itself out. Just 15 shares. You know, if I could pack on another 50, 60, 70 bucks, then I'll look for another opportunity after that. And if it drops, I might even be willing to get in with another 15 shares. But looks like we could do well on this move. As long as SPY remains bearish and below that line that I marked out, I'll pull it up for you right here. So it had this huge pullback. I didn't want to get in, but when I saw it retake this line, I thought, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Get in, see if we can break this bottom here at 277. That would break the hourly low. That would also break, well, we've actually set a new hourly low, but it would break both this hourly low and this hourly low. And I think we get a pretty solid move from there. Let's look at the hourly, by the way. So here we go. So we didn't break the hourly low here, but this is the opportunity. If bears really want to remain in control, bears need to break 277.24 and then 277.06 and then 277. And if we break 277, I think we can see a significant move down here, but it's going to take a little bit of work. So this was kind of indecision on the last 15 minutes. So got to be careful for it to not be able to break the 15-minute low, which is the same as the hourly low right now. If it can't break that, it seems like it's going to roll around. Obviously, we'll have to get out and just wait for the pattern to reset. It's difficult trading on patterns like this, though, because this is, you know, this is essentially, this is being such a choppy stock. It's just a very, again, it's very difficult. It's very complex, very difficult to trade. But we are continuing to make new lows. So we'll see. Let me just check out you guys one more time. Check out INO. SPY's continuing to pull. Man, what a break. What a break, but we all know INO can make moves pretty quickly. Okay, SPY's pulling back, coming back above the line. We might see a little bit of a pullback here. 252.68. Let's do 252.68. We'll buy another 15 there. Give it an opportunity to pull back. See if we can get those. Come on. See if we can get those. Come on. How far did it come down? 252.85. Man. Almost got me in there. So I might actually want to go to 251. Okay, SPY's failing, coming back through the line. Obviously, TVIX is picking back up. What we really need to see right now, though, is we really need SPY to break this low. It's at least got to break this low. That'll give us a little more hope of reaching this low. And then, of course, this is also the hourly low. If you don't remember here, 277.24. Really want to see momentum to the downside. We really want to test back at this line today. So I may size up even a little bit more on TVIX if it looks like we can reach those levels. But right now, it's looking more like we're going to have a pullback than anything. Yeah, Flip. Codex definitely went on a tear. Good call. You may look for a head and shoulders pattern to form here. I'm going to start, I think I will start a position at 83. I'm going to average in with 100 shares there. And I'm going to give it room to come up. So, all right. And totally not coming up. So, I don't know if this just needs to be scalping territory here. SPY's pushing. SFIX continuing to finally go. Broke low of day yesterday. Yep. This may actually be the time to get in, but I'm going to say this cautiously. I'd love to wait. I'd love to wait for a pullback here. May not get the pullback. SPY closed above the line on the 5-minute. If it's holding, guys, then I'm gonna have to come out of my TVIX position. All right, this looks like it could break lows. If it does, I will take the first at 1382. First 100 there. Get in on the profit if I can. I think it'll rush down far enough if it cracks through 14 to get me out there on the first 100 shares, and then I'll see what the other 100 shares does. If it seems like it's holding 14, I'll get out. I'll at least unload half of my shares and then see what happens from there. Okay, gonna unload half my shares. Take that order off. Okay, SPY needs to break this trend line on the 5-minute. Needs to break through this trend line. Otherwise, I need to get out and reposition on TVIX. SPY's tapping on the trend line. It's tapping on the trend line. I want to see a breakdown through the hourly low. See if we can do it. Can we break through it? Can we break through it and hold through it? Boy, it's tapping. It's really tapping hard on that trend line. Okay, I'm going to get out. I'm going to wait. I mean, it may break it, but man, well, we actually had a... This is why I should have kept the 1-minute open, because we actually made a lower low, lower 1-minute low. So which is pretty significant. So we're breaking trend line now, by the way. I know. Didn't get another place to add. So I think I'll go ahead and take some of the shares as it gets back down into the 30s. Yeah, there we go. Let's get down to $50 on the all right, I'm going to go ahead and take some of the shares off there. We're down to 368. See if we can scalp our way out. Got 50 shares left on INO. I'll consider adding as long as we remain in what seems to be a rejection pattern, a head and shoulders pattern. This being the neckline, roughly around $7. So wait for a pullback. Man, I should have stayed up on the TVIX with those shares. Look at this, guys. So here's what's happening. I really do wish I had stayed on the 1 minute chart because I pulled out prematurely, seeing a pretty bad rejection off the trend line on the 5 minute. But this is why I said, you know, when you're scalping or when there are other, or even dealing with choppy markets, I think especially with the S&P 500, I've noticed that through a lot of the moves that we've made in accordance with the TVIX, the 1 and 2 minute chart breakdowns have been very beneficial. And here we had bounced and pulled back, but I was watching the 5 minute and I did not realize that on the 1 minute we actually broke through the previous candle's lows, which meant we were still in a bearish position. So we have broken now hourly trends. This is actually pretty bearish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a pullback. And I'm going to see if, once we get the pullback, I'm going to see if we can get a rollover and a test of this line here. And I should be able to pick up some TVIX shares at that moment. So, okay, SFIX finally working out. So I'm going to keep SPY on watch right now. Next level to watch for is 1374 and then 1336. Just scalping back bit by bit, guys. This is basically one of those days where I'm just going to try to do what I can to, you know, decrease losses on the day. INO might be affording me a pullback opportunity. So let's see. Yeah, I'm going to take it here. I'm going to take this opportunity. So I got 150 shares at 765. And I'll look to add another 100 shares at the break of 732. Stop sell. And I'm going to set an alert for if we get over 74. INO 774, ask, add. And then INO 732, bid. We'll say 735. This is getting close. Okay, so we've got that kind of running right there on its own. SFIX, seeing some resolution to the downside. I will go ahead and, just for the sake of trying to be safe here, I'm going to put out the first 50 shares at 74 because that seems like a critical level. I'll do it at 76 just to make sure we can get those shares. And this may be good for a pullback. All right, now I'll tell you what, this is the biggest buy volume we've had. This could be just shorts covering because they wanted to cover before that significant point at 1374. So that could be just a major covering right there. But we're going to find out. Nonetheless, if we fail, I will take 50 at 1376 for the actual test of 1374. And if it can break through there, I'll let the other 50 ride down to that other test of, where was it? Was that 1340? Yep, 1340. So I would take 1342 buy. So I'm going to go ahead and just put those orders out there. INO, getting the rejection. Definitely want to see a flush on INO. You can see I'm putting out orders on INO. Now it could be curling around. And in that case, I may want to get out. But I may let it test. We'll see. Still looking for a pullback opportunity on the S&P 500 for TVIX. can see SFIX is having a significant bounce off of that level, that 1370. I think it was 1374. Let's look. Let me be sure about that. So it's either 1380 or 1374. 1375. Okay, so it got close to it. My guess is that there's a lot of people that were anticipating to buy at that level. So maybe doing a test of that. Still have a trend line here. Still have an EMA. So going to be looking for exit opportunities if it breaks past all that. SPY looks like it's rounding out, but right now bears are in control. Bears are definitely in control. Yeah. Oop. See if we can get a good pullback though. Again, bears are in control, so I really do. I would like to look for a pullback. I know looks like it could push, but I'm not sure I'm buying it. Got 150 shares. All right. Well, guys, I know there's not really much going on right now. I'd love to keep the stream open. I know I haven't been as interactive today, and just have been focusing on a lot of these trades. I'm red all over the place on my P&L, and I hate that. But we're still up on the week. We're doing fine. It's only Wednesday. We got Thursday and Friday. Could definitely come in here and bang out a couple more, $400, $500, $600 days, and hopefully I'll even be able to recover some of my losses for today. So I'll post a recap video later. And again, I know I haven't been much use as a teacher or educator today. But I do appreciate you guys coming in anyway. I appreciate you joining the live stream as usual. And hopefully tomorrow things will be better. And hopefully tomorrow, yeah, Flip, bit more of a stressful day, but the week still looks good. Exactly. It's still a good week. And really, truly, INO could still roll over. A lot could happen with the market today. The market could continue rolling over. Again, if we get a significant enough of a pullback on the SPY, I'll go long again on TVIX. Definitely ready to do that. INO could end up just flushing to the downside, we could make a couple $100 back on that. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, hopefully when you come back later, my red day recap will be a lot lower. Maybe I'll only be reporting like a $200 loss on the day or whatever. But anyway, nonetheless, even if I have a max daily loss, we're fine. It's not anything to stress about too much. But yeah, appreciate you guys being in here. And note again, I'm not sure if you're still there. Strangers Consortium, not sure if you're still there. But hope you guys have a good rest of the day. And again, my apologies for the boring live stream this morning. I'll try to make it a little bit more exciting tomorrow. And yeah, Flip Flop, good to see you, man. Thanks for joining today. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow.